Welcome back. We are joined by author of Rise Up Little Bluebirds, Boike, here to share a special message about how this book came to be. And so let's talk about what inspired you to write this book.
Well, I lost my mom to cancer a few years ago, so it was just such a devastating experience for our family, and I started helping my dad build bluebird houses with my family, and just in her memory, she loved the little bluebird and its universal symbol of joy and happiness. And I made a listing for them on Facebook Marketplace, and it quickly just garnered a lot of attention. We ended up on the Today Show and People magazine, and we kind of uncovered a craving for community and grief, I think. And I was using writing as an outlet for my own grief, with rhyming stanzas that just kind of connected with all of the different connections we were making with the birdhouses. And I shared a couple of those stanzas on my personal Facebook page, and a GoFundMe was created. And the book was actually funded by the community then. So.
Wow. So can you unpack the Rise Up? Like the Little Bluebirds, can you unpack that title for me?
I was just having such a hard time initially keeping the birdhouse order separate from the people that were just reaching out for connection and community. And I was seeking books for my own grief with my own children, trying to work out my own grief on top of helping them with theirs. And it just kind of happened organically. I created a Rise Up Bluebird grief support group just to kind of keep the connections from people that were looking to share their stories separate from the birdhouse orders, so that they could help support each other. And I liked that Rise Up piece. I just thought that was really meaningful and special for
how cool though to create a community for grieving people to go and to know that they're not alone.
Yeah, it's definitely been a labor of love for sure. I can feel her moving through all the connections we've been making, and she was just the epitome of love for our family. So to be able to have this be a life pivot of mine to normalize conversations and healthy coping mechanisms for all those big grief experiences, which started out for my own family but is now speaking engagements and workshops for other people to help them support their families and themselves through that difficult process. It's been a blessing.
And how do you think that this this book, relates to children? How does it kind of break it down?
I feel like with COVID, it just kind of highlighted how ill-prepared we are to talk about those grief experiences.
For sure.
And within my own family, we experienced big emotions, anger and sadness and fear. So I wanted to highlight those emotions and just kind of start conversations about the different ways that people are experiencing grief and how we can cope through those big emotions. And I experienced the power of community within my own grief experience, and I wanted to share that with as many people as I could, just because it was such a meaningful experience for us.
How long did it take you to write this book?
So she passed in 2018. And it was almost immediately that the birdhouses kind of took shape, and it became bigger than we anticipated. And I think it's just because of that craving for community. There's just not a lot out there. And when I was looking for resources for my kids, I found books that contained euphemisms and inauthentic verbiage. So it was just kind of an organic way to bring people together. But it was about 2 years that I was writing the stanzas, and it was just kind of in connection with what we were experiencing. So sharing that, I think it just kind of, I think that's the beauty of it. It just kind of organically happened, and it just feels like it was what I'm supposed to be doing now.
Yeah, really, really cool. And target age group for this book?
It was 3 to 8, but I've kind of experienced it resonating with people of all ages.
Sure.
I'm doing speaking engagements from assisted living facilities all the way down to early childhood, because grief is just such a universal experience.
For sure. And everybody deals with it. Everybody deals with it in a very unique and different way.
Exactly.
And where can people find this book?
The best way to get it is on my website, riseuplittlebluebirds.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much. A really great story, and hopefully you can get this book. But we will have more when we come back on Cato Living. Stay with us.